Your life was not given to you so that you could live it only for yourself. You have obligations, whether you want to admit it or not. This will come as a shock to you, but people are mad at me on the internet again. This is a fascinating change of pace from yesterday and the day before that, and every day for the past 10 years when people have also been mad at me on the internet. This latest outrage began with a post from some random account on X who shared a screenshot that contained a disturbing fact, which said this. By 2030, an estimated 45% of women aged 25 to 44 will be single and child-free. And the account comments correctly that this is, quote, the real pandemic. Now, a woman by the name of Rudaparna Chatterjee, who is the Deputy Asia Director at The Independent, responded saying, women don't owe children to a world that hates them and is actively curbing their body autonomy rights. That post, by the way, has over 200,000 likes. Now, I responded to Miss Rudaparna Chatterjee with my own take. I posted, quote, women do, in fact, owe children to the world. Your ancestors suffered and sacrificed and died to bring you into existence and build the civilization you now take for granted. You stand on the shoulders of thousands of years of untold hardship, giving up, throwing it all away, extinguishing your own bloodline, all so that you can live a pathetic and pointless life dedicated solely to your own material gain is an act of generational betrayal and suicide. You know, this is in my typical understated way. Well, as you can probably imagine, the feminists did not like that very much. Thousands of very outraged comments followed, some of them like this one, threatening to extinguish their own bloodline in an act of revenge against me. Quote, I would never bring children into a world of Matt Walsh and his fellow right-wing media internet grifters. Some of them like this one were wishing death on me, predictably. Quote, please do us all a favor and blow your brains out. Some of them, like this one, very hilariously accused me of being a hypocrite because I have no children of my own. Quote, says the guy with 0 kids and 2 failed marriages, not even your wives want to F you. When she screenshots an AI search result that says, Matt Walsh does not have any children, according to Wikipedia. He's been married twice, but those marriages did not produce any children. Now, of course, as you know, I actually have 6 kids and I've been married for 14 years to one woman. I'm not sure which Matt Walsh, if any, this answer refers to. But I do know that this other Matt Walsh didn't deserve to get caught in the crossfire, poor guy. But most of the responses simply accuse me of being an oppressive, patriarchal, sexist, misogynistic tyrant who hates women and wants to control them. Hundreds of feminists declared that they don't owe the world or anyone in it anything at all. There are also a number of comments saying that the world is too populated as it is, so the best thing we could do for the world is embrace our own extinction. It was a pretty grim array of responses, all told. And if ratios tell us anything, which they probably don't, I must admit that the original post claiming that women don't owe children to the world because the world hates them has over 200,000 likes. Mine has just over 30,000, which isn't too shabby, but hers would seem to be the more popular sentiment, at least in the social media fever swamps it is. Which is why I think it's worth fleshing out my point in some greater detail. So yes, women owe children. The vast majority of women, with the exception of those who are called to a celibate religious vocation, I'm not including them, are meant to have children. It is their vocation, their responsibility to God, to civilization, to their families, to their ancestors. Now, I'm sure that some of you right now are boiling with rage and screaming into the air, what about men? Why won't you say this about men? Why is it just women? Well, as it turns out, I do say this about men. I have made this exact point about men probably hundreds of times. I've said it on my show. I've said it in interviews. I've said it on X. I've said it in my writing. I've said it in every forum available to me for 10 years, if not longer, that the vast majority of men are called to be fathers. It is their obligation. It is their responsibility. Now, the point about our duty to our ancestors and our bloodline is one that I have made about men and to men countless times. So yes, this does apply to men. I have applied it to men repeatedly ad nauseum for over a decade. If you listen to the show, you know that. Of course I have. It takes 2 to make a baby. Every child has, and therefore also should have, a mother and a father, a point that I have also made literally thousands of times in my career. It is the worst kind of selfishness to stand at the end of millennia of hardship and sacrifice and declare that it was all for nothing, that the story is coming to an end because you'd rather have more time to sit on your couch and scroll TikTok, which is how almost everyone uses the extra time they gain from not having kids. These people are not out creating beautiful works of art or making scientific discoveries or even spending time on interesting hobbies. Almost all of them are just sitting around staring at their phones. They're blowing up their family lineage and sending their bloodline careening off a cliff so they can do literally nothing of consequence whatsoever. It is all being sacrificed for the sake of ease and comfort and greater luxury, even though you could have kids and still have immense ease, comfort, and luxury in comparison to what your ancestors enjoyed and what most people on Earth today enjoy. Have you ever wondered why elite athletes, business moguls, and high performers are using Armra colostrum? It's because Armra colostrum packs over 400 natural nutrients that work at the cellular level to build muscle, speed recovery, and boost performance. No artificial stuff, just pure fuel for whatever you're tackling. Think of it as your body's natural defense system upgrade. Strengthens your immune system throughout your entire body while supporting your gut wall system for better digestion, less bloating. Plus, helps your body absorb nutrients more effectively and keeps your metabolism running smoothly. You'll also notice the difference in your skin's radiance thanks to natural antioxidants and collagen-boosting compounds. Plus, there's a reason elite athletes have been using colostrum for years. It enhances endurance and speeds up recovery so you can bounce back faster. Bottom line, Armra colostrum gives your body comprehensive support to thrive naturally. We've worked out a special offer for my audience. Receive 30% off your first subscription order. Go to armra.com/Walsh. or enter code Walsh for 30% off your first subscription order. That's armra.com/Walsh. So this is pure nihilism. It is pure despair, and not nihilism and despair bred from some kind of tragic experience. It's nihilism and despair bred from a life of intense, single-minded self-interest. It is the kind of nihilism and despair that comes from never looking or thinking about anything except your reflection in the mirror and whatever slop you stare at on your phone. So yes, again, I apply this to men and women equally, obviously. And yet, when I do focus this message on men, which I do all the time, nobody ever responds by wishing death on me, okay? On none of those occasions has there even been a fraction of the blowback. The red pill and manosphere side of the internet might get annoyed, but that's about it. It's nothing like this. And that's because it has long been verboten in our culture to tell women that they have any obligations at all. And now we have generations of women who have never heard it suggested that they might have any responsibilities to anyone or anything outside of themselves. Now, that's not to say that there are no women who acknowledge responsibilities. Plenty of women do. My wife does. I know plenty of good conservative Christian women who are aware that they have obligations and work every day to meet those obligations. But the point is that this is not a message they will hear from the culture. If you grow up in modern America, you go to public school, consume mainstream media and entertainment, and you're a female, you will rarely hear anyone even hint at the idea that you have responsibilities as a woman. The sentence, the phrase, as a woman, you have the responsibility to blank, is almost never said ever. And if you think I'm making that up or exaggerating, just think in your own mind. When's the last time you ever heard anyone say that? Besides me. When's the last time you ever heard anyone say, in any context, anywhere, at church, on TV, politicians, anyone? When have you ever heard anyone say, as a woman, you have a responsibility to blank? Now, when have you heard this said about men? All the time. As a man, you have a responsibility to blank. As a man, you have an obligation to do this. As a man, you should do this. As a man, you should do that. This is said constantly. I mean, all the time it's said. But it is almost never said about women. Instead, if you're a woman, you will be told everywhere by everyone that a woman is meant to be an autonomous creature, free and unburdened by any expectation. Her only vocation in life is to do exactly what she wants to do for no greater purpose than fulfilling her desires, whatever those desires may be. Anything that stands in the way of that pursuit, she is told, can and should be disregarded and, if necessary, violently and bloodily killed. Even and especially if that obstacle is her own child in the womb. This is the kind of conditioning that women receive. And it's why a tweet like mine, talking about a woman's obligations, is so shocking. Not because there's anything outrageous about it, but because it suggests the forbidden word responsibility. And yet, in spite of this relentless campaign to drive responsibility away and pretend it doesn't exist, it does still exist. As a woman, you are not a self-created deity who spawned out of the ether. You are a created being. You are a human person who is the product of thousands of years of sacrifice and toil. You are not autonomous. You are a member of a family and a community and a country. and you are dependent on that membership. You benefit from it. If you were truly left to your autonomous self out alone in the wilderness somewhere, unencumbered by association or obligation, you'd be dead in 3 days. You don't want that. You want and do enjoy the benefits of civilization, of your ancestors' sacrifice, of being a part of your family, a citizen of a country, a product of Western society. Those are all privileges that you did not earn and did nothing to contribute to. And they come with responsibilities. You can choose to reject those responsibilities. You can fold your arm. You can stomp your feet like a child, but the responsibilities remain. And the most basic responsibility of all, though certainly not the only one, is to continue on, to continue the great project that your forebears began, to pass on the baton that they have handed to you. If this sort of talk seems offensive to you or alien or strange, that's only because you are an incredibly shallow and ridiculous person who has never paused to contemplate where you stand in life and how you got there and what it all means and what sort of legacy you want to leave behind. Now, I can't save you from being shallow and ridiculous. That will probably never change, though it could if you wanted it to, but you probably don't want it to, so it won't. What I am saying, though, is still true. Your life was not given to you so that you could live it only for yourself. You have obligations, whether you want to admit it or not. And that's why those who don't or won't admit it are today canceled. If you'd like to see what else I have to say, you can access my full show by going to dailywire.com or by going to the Matt Walsh Show Twitter page. Hope to see you there. Godspeed.